Hey Ken, how you
Hey,
doing
hey,
today?
pretty good. How you doing, Dave?
I'm good. Hey, I saw an article that somebody sent me about what's hot in the digital marketing space. Let's talk about that a little bit.
All right, sounds good.
So it looks like Google's still the deal to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially showing up on the Google Maps results. If you're a local business, meaning that you either have people from a local area come to your place of business, or you serve people at their homes or places of business, and you're defined as a service area business in a local market, um, then showing up on the Google Maps results is huge. Right now, about 60 to 70% of all phone calls or clicks happen when a business is showing up in the top three. That's where all the activity's coming.
So if somebody just does a search, Google is the place they want to search. Is there anything else they want to, any other ways they want to get found?
Well, I mean, we're talking about searches where you put in like restaurant near me or plumber Afton, where you're clearly telling Google you're looking for a local solution. So that's going to generate the Google Map result. It triggers actually a different algorithm from Google and a specific local search driven algorithm. So there are a lot of different things that you have to do to be able to position yourself well to rank, for on Google Maps. The first thing is the most limiting, and that is proximity. So the reality is most businesses can only really typically rank well on the Google Map result in a 3 to 5 mile radius. So now you can overcome that, but it takes some work and some effort to be able to do that. And that's where you have to kick into a pretty full blown SEO strategy. But if you're the type of business that, a chiropractor, a dentist, a restaurant, where people are looking, within a 3 to 5 mile radius, you can do some things specifically just working on local SEO that will help you get in the Google Map results.
Okay.
One of the best things are Google reviews. So getting an ongoing steady stream of Google reviews and responding to each and every review is really, really, really important. Right now, Google is by far and away the most used review site that's out there. It's universal across any kind of business. So, there are niche review sites like Angie or um, ZocDocs or, something like that for medical,
Yeah.
Avo for attorneys. Um, they're very niche focused, but Google is going to be Google, Facebook, and Yelp are really the three big ones that are kind of industry independent. And so those are the three places you need to build reviews. But I'd start with Google number one because it's by far and away the most important from an SEO strategy.
So when you talk about reviews and get frequency, what is an ideal frequency?
So it's going to vary based on different types of businesses. You never want to do anything that looks artificial or is fake.
Okay.
There are people who pay people to go write reviews en masse in other countries, and Google's pretty clever about picking up on those things. You may be able to get away with it for a while, but once Google figures it out, they can slap you pretty hard. Um, if you're a restaurant where you're seeing dozens and dozens of customers each and every day, then it's not unrealistic to expect, 10 reviews a day potentially.
Okay.
If you're a roofer where you've got three crews at any given time working on three different projects, it's probably not very realistic to expect more than maybe one or two reviews a week.
Hmm.
uh, you know, from that, because not everybody's going to write a review. I mean, and the other thing is you've got to ask people to write reviews. So one of the things that's going on in the world of reviews right now is people are starting to ignore the email and SMS requests because everybody started to do it. And some people are really obnoxious about it. They, healthcare providers typically inundate you with requests over
Yeah.
and over and over again, and people ignore those um, because they get so many. Also, they're usually delivered at a really inconvenient time. I mean, I've got something else going on. I'm driving somewhere. I'm in the middle of fixing dinner or whatever. And so it's not a convenient time for me to leave a review. So we've been doing these Google review cards where you literally just have to tap your phone to the card and it'll pop up a little review window that you click and open, and that will take you right to the Google profile. And if you've got the type of business where you can do that in person, at a time that the customer is really satisfied and it's very convenient for them, it's the best time to get a review. So we've got a great solution for that. We've been using it. It's super easy. We've got a couple of clients who are not very tech savvy, and this is perfect for them because all I have to do is be able to get their card out of their pocket or their wallet or whatever, and just have the customer tap their phone on the card. And if that doesn't work, there's a QR code that you can scan that takes you to the same place. And
Okay.
most people know how to use QR codes these days. Not everybody, but and not every cell phone is going to work well with just the tap. But if you've ever done tap to pay at like a
Mhm.
Panera Bread or anything like that,
Yep.
it's the same technology.
Okay. So how does everybody's done reviews or comments on social media. How does social media play in the review process?
So social media is, Facebook is the second, barely above Yelp, the second most common place for people to go write reviews. And in this case, it'd be a recommendation on Facebook. Um, and so it's a very important property for sure. It's not going to help you show up necessarily on the Google Maps results. I say that, it kind of sort of does because Google's smart enough to look at across the web to see what activity is going on. But the power, I think, of using social media is actually to market your reviews that you're getting on a platform like Google. Most people they stop short of marketing reviews. So if they're most businesses, one, don't do a good job of getting enough reviews. Number two, they don't respond to each and every review. Number three, they don't market those reviews. And by that I mean you take the review that's on a Google business page, and you take a snapshot of that and you post it as a social media post on Facebook or Instagram or whatever your social media platform of choice is.
Sure.
And now you have increased the visibility of that review. And reviews are really important because they build credibility and trust, and they provide, the concept of social proof. When people see that other people have had a positive experience, that makes them a little bit more likely that they're going to trust and give your business a chance.
Sure. Sure. So that's that's seems obvious to me, but some people are like, "Oh, I get too much um, on social media and don't see anything for it."
Yeah.
Is there a way to kind of track activity?
On social media.
Yeah.
Sure. Most businesses don't post enough on social media. They really, you need to train the algorithm to expect you to be posting on a regular basis. And posting twice a day is really a prerequisite for visibility on social media for most businesses. And I know a lot of businesses are like, what? Are you serious? No way. How am I going to post every day, at least twice a day? And it's like there actually are pretty easy, effective ways to do that. But you need to do that because social media is like a river. It's just kind of flowing right past you. And if it doesn't show up on your news feed when you happen to be looking there, you're not going to see it. Most people don't click through to read a business's social media page, like a Facebook business page. They get their information in a news feed. And so that's why posting on a couple of times a day is really important. Now, just because you're posting doesn't mean that you're going to be visible. You've got to start getting people to engage with your posts. But you start with visibility, then you work on engagement. Once the tricky thing is what's hard is to measure. You can measure the traffic coming to your website from social media. But it doesn't really tell you whether or not that is a converting activity, meaning because somebody found you on Facebook, they click through to their website, now they call your phone number. Do you really attribute that back to social media? That's where it starts to get pretty tricky. But you can tell, general trends. Most social media metrics are actually what we call vanity metrics, meaning, they make you feel good. They're designed to make you feel good. I mean, that's the whole problem. That's why they're misleading.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all the number of people who liked this post or commented on this post. Well, the only important thing is how many people are commenting on the post, because when they comment, that's a signal to the search engines and a signal to the social media platform that what you're posting is important and somebody finds it worthy enough of commenting on. And because they comment on it, it's the algorithm, the way it's set up, means that they're going to be more likely, because they commented on your post, to see the next post or two that you do, just because they're engaging with your content.
Well, one thing I saw in this article that just amazed me was they talk about email marketing is dead.
Yeah.
But it seems to have an incredible ROI.
It's ridiculous. It's 4,400% return on investment.
Wow.
Across the board. Now, this is for all types of businesses, all sizes, all types of different campaigns. So does that mean every business is going to get 4,000+% return on investment? No, not necessarily. But email is the best way to stay top of mind and to increase your visibility, as long as people want to receive your emails. So it's important, to give people an easy way to opt out if they don't want to receive them. You'd much rather them opt out than to mark it as spam, because you're annoying them. And because if they mark it as spam, then you're not going to get delivered. It's anybody. And that can actually be really penalizing for your business. So, but the problem is most people make the assumption about email marketing and the fact that it shouldn't be done because they don't like to see these emails in their inbox. The reality is, as long as you're providing interesting, valuable information to people, they may not read each and every one, but it's still going to show up in their inbox. They may just delete it, but they'll eventually open up some of these, especially, if the subject line, is interesting enough and hits them at a time where they have a clear need. Then email marketing can be very powerful. So I think a strategy of doing weekly email marketing is really important, more so than ever.
Well, it keeps you in front of the customer at any rate, whether they actually read the whole article or not.
That's right. Absolutely. And, it gives you the ability to subtly remind people while you're providing them valuable information about everything that you do. A lot of businesses, they're always shocked to find out that somebody went and hired somebody to do a service that they provide. And it's like, wait a minute, you've been a customer of ours for years. Why did you go hire them to do this? We do that. Well, it's because, people forget. They've got busy lives, right?
Yeah.
And so, they may not remember that you do this other service or offer these other products.
Right.
that's why email marketing is really important. There is no better way to get that consistency and that visibility. Email marketing blows away social media, which is the closest thing, um, in terms of helping to stay top of mind and building brand awareness across the range of solutions that you have to offer.
Can is there a service that you offer to help? Because email can be daunting to
Hmm.
send a dozen emails or 2 dozen at any one time. Is that the right frequency, or do you have guidance on how they can effectively do that to maximize the ROI?
Um, so, I mean, you want to develop a list, and you want to keep the other reason that sending email on a regular basis is important is because it keeps your list up to date. An email solution provider is going to automatically unsubscribe people, or take them out if they're starting to show up as a bounce, either a soft or a hard bounce, so that your deliverability rate still stays high. And so when you're using an email marketing system where you're sending to a list of people, uh, it can be, I mean, it can be any list size. You just need to make sure that people want to be receiving those emails. There are so many different types of emails that are out there. If you're talking about like an email newsletter or a weekly tips or, hot recommendations or something like that, weekly or biweekly is probably good. If you're, I mean, in some cases, one of the best strategies for email marketing is when somebody goes to your website and they want to sign up for 5 hot tips for uh, you know growing your business by 200% in 2024, and maybe those hot tips are going to be delivered in email a day, and it's a longer form email, but you're going to get one email a day for the next 5 days,
Hmm.
delivering that information. And the philosophy behind this was, why can't you just send me all 5 all at once?
Right.
It's like, well, if you send it out in bite-sized chunks, one, people are more likely to read it, and two, they may have a better opportunity to act on it than if you send all 5 all at once.
Okay.
So, and I mean, and then it has the added benefit of just staying top of mind.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Many times the consistency is good, but if you can do it in a short period of time, um, people will read it and they won't say after the fourth one, "Oh, I've heard this before." So
Yeah,
they will then read clear through.
yeah, yeah.
So, how does text message marketing relate to all this?
So text message marketing it's a little bit tricky, and people who have biases of on email marketing have even stronger biases typically against text message marketing, and that's just purely because if they've tried it for their business, it's probably been a solution that is just kind of an add-on feature or a capability of a tool set that they already have. It's not designed as a marketing program. So why you want to do text marketing,
Yeah.
people who want to subscribe to your text list, they open those texts 90% of the time, typically within 3 to 5 minutes. Because people have their phones with them all the time, your text it's immediately delivered and almost immediately read. And so from that perspective, from a deliverability and a reading perspective, nothing beats text marketing. Now, not everybody wants to sign up for text messages, but if you've got a favorite restaurant or clothing boutique, or even a hair salon where you may not need to go in, but every 4 to 6 weeks, you may still want to see the offers and the opportunities and the events that they're having. And it's all about the quality of the offer. For email marketing, anything you do on social media from a promotional perspective, which should be very limited on social media, by the way, less than 20% should be promotional. And text marketing, it's always about the quality of the offer. And when I say offer, I think a lot of people immediately assume some kind of a discount. Um, Offers don't have to be discounts. They need to be something that's compelling. For a hair salon, it could be, a special night, in the evening after normal hours of the salon. Maybe the hour after they normally close, they have a manufacturer's rep come in and talk about the hair care products that they've got, and make it, and it's a special event for their best customers. And
Value
so,
oriented event.
what's that?
A value oriented event.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there a discount associated with that? Maybe, maybe not. But I think the biggest thing is there's an event that catches people's interest and gets them motivated to come back into your place of business.
Sure.
And it could be a live event. It could be if you had a venue where you had bands or things like that. Then obviously it works well as well. Sometimes you just feature your most popular products and just remind people, like a restaurant, hey, it's Monday afternoon. It's kind of a dreary day all day today. Come in for a little bit of sunshine and grab our sunshine pizza or something like that.
Sure.
And just remind people, and it's like, yeah, it is kind of a drab day. Maybe I do want to get a pizza tonight. They may not come to that conclusion unless you remind them about it.
That's right. That's right. So one other thing that was commented on here was speed of response.
Yeah, absolutely critical. This is where small businesses have the opportunity right now, to really win in the marketplace. One of the great things about what we mean by speed of response is, how fast do you respond back when somebody contacts your business? It could be from the website. It could be from Facebook direct message. It could be from a Google profile message. It could be a phone call. It could be a form submission. I mean, so many different ways. And, study after study after study, and this has been, studied for a decade or so now. The business that responds first has typically a 75% better chance of winning that business than any other business, irregardless of price. So if you respond first, but your price is 20% higher, because you responded first, you're still more likely to win that business.
Okay.
So too many businesses race to the bottom. They try, they try to everything they can to lock down business. So they keep discounting their prices over and over and over again, or dropping their prices. If you can be the first to respond, then you can get yourself out of that price pressure situation. And there are great technologies that can make this happen. We've got a sales and marketing operating system that we set up for businesses that find ways to respond immediately back to the person who submitted the request. A text widget on their website and with an immediate response, link to an automated booking calendar. Most people don't want to even pick up the phone anymore and call to schedule an appointment. They just want to go online and book a time that they already know works for them. And it's becoming more and more popular, and it's almost an expectation now. And I know that there are some challenges logistically for certain businesses doing that, but it's critical, because now you've got somebody, if they've got an appointment booked with you, they're probably not going to be looking for a whole lot of other companies to work with until they have that appointment with you.
Yeah.
So, so getting that response is really important. If they call the business and the business doesn't answer, we send an immediate text message back to the phone number to let them know that we received the phone call. Somebody, will get back to them as soon as possible. And that typically results in what we call scroll stopping activities, where If people are actively looking for a solution and they get an immediate response back from a business, even if it's just an email, a text, that says, "Hey, sorry, nobody's available right now, but we got your message. We'll be back in touch with you," and give them a time frame, and then live up to that expectation. If you say you're going to call them back within an hour, you better call them back within an hour.
Hmm.
Um, but those are the kinds of things that are super important. And the other thing is, you can also provide. This is kind of an extension of speed of response in a certain way, but you can also provide a fast pass for businesses where you can allow them to jump the line.
Okay.
And I think a good analogy to think about this is, I was flipping through Amazon Prime last night. I haven't been on Amazon Prime for a couple of months, and I was watching a show on there, but I saw in the corner of my eye that there's a feature that you can upgrade to ad free, and it's like, okay, well, my Amazon Prime, when I used to use it all the time, was ad free already. So now when I click on that, I have the privilege of paying $2.99 a month to not have ads. But you know what? $2.99 a month for not having to sit through and skip through a bunch of ads that I don't necessarily want to see.
Right.
I might decide that that's a worthwhile investment for me.
Sure.
If you're traveling, we had a guest on the podcast that I do called the Marketing Guides for Small Businesses, a guy named Jay Baer, who's written a book about this recently. He was talking about an experience that he had at a hotel where he got in early. It was 11 a.m. All he really wanted to do was he needed to work on prep for a presentation that he had the next day. So he just wanted to get into his room and start banging out the work that he needed to do for that presentation.
Hmm.
So he knew it was too early for an early check-in, but he decided to talk to the hotel anyway. And they, for like a fairly trivial fee, they allowed him to pay an extra, a small extra one-time fee to be able to get into his room earlier. So there are a lot. Look, a lot of people are willing to pay to jump the line. I mean, there are a lot of businesses out there that have business queued up for months and months and months.
Okay.
And, that's costing them business in certain respects. So if you can charge 30 to 40% more, for people who want to jump the line, and you still have the ability to manage, the people who are just happy with the regular waiting for the standard service. That's something that every business ought to be exploring right now. Those are two super hot opportunities for businesses.
Well, you can't talk about what's going on online without talk about AI and how
Right.
that's impacted the business.
Yeah.
So, how is AI impacting marketing overall and digital marketing in particular?
So I think it's really impacting mostly digital marketing because it is a digital asset. Um, AI is, a lot of people I think are rushing to say, okay, well, I don't need to hire somebody to go do this because I can just go put in a prompt in Chat GPT and it'll generate a blog post for me. Okay, yeah, that's right. It'll generate a blog post for you. Big whoop. It's going to be awkwardly worded. It's not going to be structured in the proper SEO framework that makes it easy for Google to crawl and digest and say, hey, here's what this piece of content's all about. And so I think a lot of people, think that it's pushing the easy button. And in certain respects, that you can literally push the easy button, have it generate content, slap it out on your website, and think you're all good. What Google wants to see is human written content. It doesn't mind at all that you used AI to generate 80 to 90% of it. But it wants to see that it's written, that it has a human voice, that it, is properly structured from an SEO perspective. And so can you help to do all of that with AI? Yeah, absolutely. If you know what you're doing, you can definitely have AI prompts that make it easier and make it better to structure the content that comes out. But at the end of the day, you still need to have a human read it, review it, edit it, approve it before it's posted. Otherwise, if it doesn't look to be authentic, then that's where Google's going to start to penalize you. So, the other great use of AI tools from a marketing perspective is it's giving us the ability to repurpose content on scale. So we can take video and we can break it out into social media posts. We can break it out into short form video for like Facebook and Instagram or YouTube shorts. We can turn it into blog posts. We can, do so many different things with repurposed content. And what it does is it feeds the content machine. We've got a program in place called the quarterly content domination package, that's really driven around working on video first and then using that to generate all of the other important assets that you need to put on all of the other different channels. Just because you have a blog post doesn't give you content that you can put on YouTube for video, or a video doesn't give you necessarily blog post content. But if you take that video and you transcribe it and you edit it and you turn it into a blog post, now you've got a video on the second most searched site on the web on YouTube, which is also owned by Google, by the way. Now you have a blog post that you can SEO and put on your website to help satisfy Google's desire for content on your website to help you rank. You can take that and break it into a ton of social media posts, whether they're visual based or whether they're video based, and it's just a real powerhouse. So AI tools make that a whole lot easier and a whole lot faster.
Okay.
It doesn't right now. I don't see it replacing people per se. It may replace total numbers of people because you may get an economy of scale using AI that allows you to reduce your overall workforce, but still there's still the human element and the strategic aspect of it that's still absolutely required to make it work and work well.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've chatted about 30 minutes, and I appreciate your time, and glad we were able to have this discussion.
Yeah. Thanks. I enjoyed it. All right.
Have a good day.
Thanks. You too. Talk to you soon.